Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess to do your What's Cracking reading. Today is Wednesday the 29th of April. And of course, as I do, I want to say exactly how much I appreciate all of you. Your beautiful comments. And it's really funny, sometimes I read and I recognize the people and the names. Some of you I have a more familiarity with because I talk to you on other platforms, I guess. And sometimes I see people coming out of the blue and I think it's really nice. I'm glad you're speaking up and saying, you know, that you get something from the readings, that you are on the same path, that you understand the journey. And some of the beautiful things you say, you don't realize how much it impacts other people, not just me, but other people that are listening. And I've realized that a lot with the lives, you know, how beautiful it is for people to be around people who think and feel the same way. And I know that there are other people who watch the lives who don't participate, and that's okay too. But it's confirmation that you're not alone. You know, sometimes we sort of think we're different, we're, you know, out of the ordinary. It depends on what you watch readings for, I guess. You know, if you're looking for love and you're watching them purely because of love, that's, you know, one way of sort of seeing the videos. If you're learning about reading the tarot, that's another. But there's a group of you who feel very connected to other people through this medium, which helps you to understand that you're not you're not alone. The reason I'm chuckling because I, you know, spent a lot of my life feeling like I was just, and I didn't really understand it, but I felt like I was an alien. I felt like I didn't belong. I thought one day somebody's going to come and pick me up and take me home because I don't really feel like I belong here. And it took me a long time to understand that sense of belonging. And I guess that's what we've been sort of discovering with each other on the lives. You know, many of us going through a very similar journey, many of us on the same path of self-discovery, self-awareness, awakenedness, enlightenment, whatever you sort of feel your journey is. And it's really good to be amongst like-minded people. It really is. Acceptance is key. And, you know, I guess this is how gangs are formed, but I don't mean that in a negative sense. It's a tribe. And it's very much our community is becoming that sort of very close, almost intimate conversations that make us feel like we accept each other, and that's really super. Okay, let's get on with your reading. I'm using the Cosmic Tarot here. I've shuffled the bum off them, and I do have the Nine of Wands coming straight out. The Nine of Wands to me is quite a broad card. It really does have a lot of sort of deep meaning, as many of the tarot cards do, and they sort of change the meaning depending on the cards that are around them and depending on the energies that come through with the cards. Now, the Nine of Wands, for its very basic meaning, talks about being hurt, you know, a lot of times, and feeling worn down by the hurt and pain that you've suffered. Underneath that is this sort of energy of understanding how to protect yourself, how to put good, healthy boundaries around yourself. There's also an underlying theme of cycling, you know, going through the same things over and over again and getting consistently hurt by things, but not really understanding why. So the Nine of Wands is coming out to say that you've probably been going through a very similar set of circumstances in your life. Now, it could be your relationships, whether they're romantic or family, where you found that over the years that you've been hurt by things, and you continuously still get hurt because you have this very generous, deep, soft nature that people seem to take advantage of. And it's about understanding that you need to have these healthy boundaries in place. So when people start to treat you poorly, you're able to say, that's not okay. Now, sometimes that's really difficult because we've been raised in this idea of not creating conflict, not sort of bucking the system, not speaking up. And I always say to people, what you have to do when that happens is ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen here? So if you put strong boundaries in place and someone chooses to walk away, is the question then, was it better to have them around treating you the way they were, or is it better just to let them go? Because if that's the worst that can happen, maybe releasing them is the best thing you can do. Because I think many of us forget that we need to take care of ourselves. Otherwise, people will see you as an easy target. A lot of people used to bullying others, pushing others around, and that's their way of coping, the same way as, you know, for a more sensitive person, your way of coping may be avoiding conflict. So this card is talking about putting your boundaries in place, not worrying about the conflict, being able to accept that it's going to create that conflict, and being able to accept that if the worst that can happen is somebody doesn't accept it, then you have to accept that that is the worst that can happen. Okay, very strong meaning on this card today. Now, I do have the Ten of Cups behind this. Now, what this is saying to me here is you not doing this is stopping you from creating a life that's right for you. You understanding how to protect yourself, how to stop people taking advantage of you, how to stop this cycling in the world. You have to be prepared to do this if you want this beautiful Ten of Cups. So a lot of us, and this stability, you see, a lot of us holding back on our potential and potential love because we're not prepared. There's the cycle closing out, rightio. So you're doing it. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's all sorts of love coming in here and a truth. Okay, so what I want to say to you here is you're trying to close out this cycle. So obviously a lot of people are understanding this and trying to build on this. There's sort of this feeling here that you are understanding your potential. That's it. You're understanding your potential. It's like you are just sort of waking up and realizing, you know, I've done this way for so long and it hasn't worked. How can I do it in a different way to make sure that I'm bringing in what I need? That's all there is to it. And by doing that, you are opening up this beautiful Ten of Cups. You are opening up love for yourself, and you're opening up a new world that is more like the world you dreamed about, not the world that you're currently living in that is serving others. Now, I'm not saying it's not right at times to serve others, because I think that we all are in some way, shape or form, you know, doing our duty to other people, whether that's through our work, through our families. There are times when you are being called to serve others. Do not make it your lifestyle. If it's something you have to do every now and again, then that's fine. Cope with that. Don't do it because you're being bullied into it. Don't do it because you're being pushed into it. Do it because it's right for you. All right, so have the Prince of Pentacles coming up first. Look at me all battered and torn. I've got no nails anymore. I took them off last night. And I cut my finger yesterday making a sandwich. So I'm war-torn. Okay, so Prince of Pentacles coming out. Now, the Knight of Pentacles, he is in the traditional tarot. He's a very slow mover. He can represent Capricorn, Taurus or Virgo, but he's very slow. He's very strategic. He doesn't want to get it wrong. He wants to make sure he does everything. The Spirit is saying, you know, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. He's very much that type of person. So you've got someone here coming towards you with some sort of offer, but they're making sure they do everything the way they need to. They don't want to get this wrong. Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles coming through. So the Nine of Pentacles is the card of independence, self-sufficiency, knowing you've got enough, being at the right place in your life. This is what you're heading for. It doesn't necessarily mean you're single, but it certainly means that you have everything you need within you and outside of you. So it's that feeling of gratitude, that feeling of satisfaction, the feeling of knowing that everything is right in your world. This is actually a really interesting reading. Okay, so the Three of Wands here talks about waiting for your ships to come in. So you've been waiting on someone here. You may have been working on yourself while you're waiting for this to happen, which of course is the right thing to do. There's a feeling here that somebody is moving towards you to make an offer to you. Now, for some of you, this could be about work. And maybe, you know, this Nine of Pentacles is about you getting your house in order in terms of, you know, your education, you know, what you're doing in work. So I've got a few messages coming through here. This is about you getting your house in order, basically. I feel like somebody is coming towards you here. And for some of you here, this is it's either a contract or a very lucrative work offer here. And I feel that somebody's seeing your potential here. It could be that you have already foreseen this in your future. You could have already known the way you were heading. You've just been waiting for someone to make that offer. But somebody's definitely coming in to make the offer here. And there it is. Okay, so the Ace of Pentacles talks about long-term stability. So I feel like some of you are about to get your dream job or this offer of something that's going to help you move forward, that's going to be extremely stable here. I really think for some of you it may be a contracted agreement. It has a strong feeling that somebody's offering you some long-term contract. Somebody is seeing your potential here. Wow, it's beautiful. Okay, so then we have the Page of Pentacles coming through. And we have the Five of Swords. And Seven of Cups. Okay, so first off, I want to say to you, some of this is a dream come true for you. And there have been times that you have doubted, been unsure. Maybe you felt this, but you just kept pushing it away, thinking it might never happen. So there's a very dreamlike quality to this. And I think that for some of you here, you just thought it was a dream and perhaps you thought you couldn't bring it into fruition. For others of you here, it's sort of like you'd moved away from the idea. Maybe when something didn't come in a time that you thought it should, that you gave up. But I'm here to tell you that the universe has been sort of bringing this to you for some time, but you couldn't receive until you were ready. So you had to be in this energy of being grateful, understanding your place, living in your truth, and feeling satisfied and content where you are. So my stomach just flipped as I said that. So to get into this place in your life where you really are very comfortable, very satisfied, and very happy. So not wanting for anything. Once you let go of the want and the desire and the attachment to, you know, the material plane, things start to change. They start to change, because if you're satisfied with who you are and what you're doing, and you get up in the morning with that beautiful sense of I'm in the right place at the right time, then it's sort of like everything else starts to fall in place. I'm very feeling the crystals this morning really strongly. Being really drawn to them today. I have a little bowl of crystals here that sometimes call to me when I'm doing personal readings. And the funny part is they've called me to the pink tourmaline this morning and the black tourmaline. So if you're crystal freaks, they're the ones they're calling me to today. Very often I pick up my little bit of clear quartz for some energy, but I'm being called to love and protection today. So that's quite interesting. So there's a really strong feeling here that you'd either given up on your dream, or maybe you hadn't given up. Maybe you just sort of lost a little bit of faith that it was coming in a time you needed it to. But it's like the universe was preparing you here. So I want to say you've been prepared. Oh, the Prince of Cups is a lively character today. He's in a bit of a hurry. Okay, so somebody's coming in with this offer. Now, for some of you, this could be love. You could be dealing with a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, or a water sign here. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. There could have been sort of a period of time in between where you've been waiting for this offer. But because here you've sort of got your back turned on it, and I feel like that's because you've been doing the work that's been required of you. You've had to be in the right place. So for some of you, this does feel like it's love. For others of you, it feels like it's more of a contract, a work arrangement, somebody coming in to offer you something to move you forward here. but somebody's really seeing your potential, which is beautiful. Okay, and then we have the Star. Very nice, folks. So we're all on the path where we need to be. So if this reading resonates with you, the Star is here to tell you you've done your healing, that you need to now have faith and trust in the direction you're being taken in. Stay in this energy of feeling grateful, feeling whole, feeling complete, feeling like yourself, and just go with the flow now, because it's not a dream. It is happening. You don't need to fight against it anymore. Just let go of the control and allow this. Somebody's coming in here. A lot of money in this reading. Somebody's coming in to offer you something amazing. Now, for some of you here, this could be about love and some sort of future enterprise. So you could have somebody who's coming in here that is offering you love, but is also going to help you move towards your goals. Very strong feeling of both. Okay, so we have you learning about your boundaries, learning about what you've been doing in your life and getting things in order, because you have this beautiful Ten of Cups coming in the Hierophant, which says to me that you are moving towards stability. Now, for some of you, this is about love. The World's coming in here, and it's also about contract. So there's sort of like this feeling here that you have someone coming towards you who's going to help you move towards your destiny, whether that is in terms of loving you, or whether it's in terms of loving you, but also working with you to create the sort of future you want. Really nice reading. And I love that you're coming up with, it's almost like you're really understanding now how to stand in your own power, how to really create the life you want here. Because I think getting to this point and being to this point of, you know, feeling grateful and feeling like you belong is really making a big difference. Very interesting, because we have the Spiral Dancer here. And this is about I always think that's a really hard word to say. Circuitous route and perception. That means going round in circles. Okay, let's see what they say. The Spiral Dancer. The Spiral Dancer moves with her own rhythm and steps to music only she can hear. See? She takes you on a path that is winding and circular, and she assures you that what you're experiencing as a setback is really part of an upward spiral, which is exactly what I was talking about. Some people are feeling that they've stopped or they're not going somewhere, but you are. You're moving towards this. She assures you what you're experiencing as a setback is really part of an upward spiral. Perception is everything. You're not retracing your steps or going backwards, but rather around and up. She says that you can be comforting knowing that your path is one of success, adventure, and experience. Follow her, for she dances along a magical way. If you're asking about a relationship, keep on dancing and magic will soon happen. Also, it's okay to allow someone else to take the lead at this time. Make sure to let others know that you're open. Always remember that relationships are mirrors and will show you the past, the present, and the potential future. All relationships have a destiny. Each is a sacred teacher with valuable lessons to share, even if it appears that the two of you are dancing in different directions. All the steps are perfect, even when you may seem to be stumbling. The Spiral Dancer is a reminder that destiny's true path is seldom straight. There you go, guys. Have a wonderful day.